You know, sometimes the news can be a really good thing. Sometimes the news will come out and they will inform you of something really cool. You know, maybe there's a really cool ROM hack, or Nintendo are releasing something really cool, or Microsoft or Sony are doing something really cool, and you're like, man, that was awesome. Really glad the news exists. Then there's other times where there's a compilation of news stories talking about how Nintendo should exit making consoles, and it's time for Nintendo to make games and not consoles anymore. But is this a console? That's up for debate. Without question, I can almost guarantee you this will become the mobile division of Nintendo as they go forward and move forward and focus on the next console that they're developing. There's no questioning that they're developing their next console, and this is probably going to replace the 3DS. With that said, though, this is indeed a console. You can turn it into a console. So when I read things like Forbes, it may be time for Nintendo to make games, not consoles. The Daily Dot, Nintendo should abandon home consoles altogether and focus on mobile gaming and licensing to their titles to Microsoft, Sony, and PC. Really, Daily Dot? You don't say. Okay, don't worry, I got you. Why Nintendo needs to go mobile, and it's time for Nintendo to exit the console business. Hey, Nintendo, did you get the message? Excuse me, hello, did you get the message? You're supposed to not exist right now, according to the news stories. But this isn't the first time that this stuff has happened. So, before I jump into the video, I want to let you guys know I really appreciate the support on my last Why It Matters episode. We were on episode 6, so this one is episode 7. And that episode was how one game can destroy an entire fan base and company, and that was covering Destiny 2 and what Bungie has become. I really appreciate your support on that. I got 25,000 views, and usually people aren't really interested in Destiny 2, so that's really awesome. You really appreciate you guys checking out the video, and I just wanted to give you guys a personal thank you from me. If you enjoy this video, make sure you sign in and get ready to like or dislike and offer me some constructive criticism as we jump into why Nintendo is supposed to be exiting or rather, why it matters that companies and news stories should be taken with a grain of salt sometimes. Nintendo Switch has become the fastest selling home video game system in all time in the US. It surpassed the PS2. First year. It surpassed it. It's the fastest. Now, will it make it into the top 10 of all time? That's a good question. If it is to become the 3DS's successor, I'm fairly certain it probably will, honestly. There's a lot of people who love these things and take them with them, so I wouldn't be surprised if it does replace the 3DS. The Nintendo Switch has beaten the first year sales of the PS2 in Japan. Wait, but Proto, you just said that. But Proto, why are you repeating yourself? This is off of the website Forbes. But Proto, what does that have to do with? If you check the picture I showed you, the first story, it may be time for Nintendo to make video games, not consoles. Guess what? That was from Forbes. Yep. So you see why it's important, because now Forbes is covering how the Nintendo Switch is blowing up. It's almost as if these news agencies just were covering things for views. Nah, they would never do that, right? Well, anyways, the Nintendo Switch is seriously one of the best-selling consoles now. But the biggest thing and the problem I have with these news stories talking about Nintendo needing to exit the console race and things like that is because if you just do a little bit of research, you don't even have to try hard, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go and look at the best-selling game consoles. This is a list that I reference a lot because it teaches us lessons on things that we need to learn. Number 1 is the PlayStation 2. Oh, definitive evidence. They were right. PlayStation 2 still outsold all of the consoles that have come to date. Okay, cool. I'm with you. All right. Second one, Nintendo DS. Third one, Game Boy. Fourth one, Game Boy Color. Fifth one, the PlayStation itself. Sixth one, the Nintendo Wii. And the Game Boy Advance is down at the bottom. And then we have the 3DS, the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Super Nintendo, the Nintendo 64. Are you seeing what I'm saying? That in like the top 15 consoles, there's a good chunk of them that are Nintendo. And yes, the Xbox 360, the PlayStation, the PS2, the PS3, the PlayStation Portable, they're up there, along with the Sega Genesis and Atari 2600. They're there. Great. I'm with you there. There are some great consoles besides Nintendo. But do you notice how many of them are Nintendo? And then you have news stories that come out. Oh, it's time for Nintendo to exit the console race. And that's why it matters. You didn't have to do a lot of work to see that Nintendo's been in a sales slump before. Let me explain. The Nintendo GameCube is one of the best-selling consoles there were, but it was nowhere near the original NES and nowhere near the original Game Boy, Game Boy Color, or Nintendo DS. So you could consider that a sales slump. Same with the Wii U. 13,000,056 is what ended up selling for the Wii U. Now, the Wii U is considered a failure, but just take a look here. Nintendo has been in sales slumps before, and they got out of them. The Virtual Boy is on here. The Nintendo Switch is up and coming. Man, it's almost already above 10 million worldwide. Good Lord, that's a lot of consoles. And this is its initial first year being out. So basing your opinions on news outlets and news agencies is really, really silly. They are not fanboys of a frickin' video game company. They're doing stories that people will literally click on and watch. Be cautious. That's why it matters. You need to be cautious when you're taking the words of these individuals. I mean, how many third parties are running towards the Nintendo Switch right now, falling flat on their face? Please let us develop for your system. Oh God, please let us make a game for the Nintendo Switch. Please, Daddy Nintendo. You know, seriously. We're just not sure if we're gonna develop for Nintendo. We're keeping our relationship open, but we're just not committed to Nintendo yet. 1 year later, oh God, give us Nintendo Switch dev kits. Oh! It's really important, and why it matters is because there are great game consoles that have come out in the past that have done really amazing stuff, man. Ooh, you know, they did it, man. The Sega Dreamcast would be one of them. But where's Sega now? The Sega Dreamcast was destroyed by the PlayStation 2. And then it had competition like the GameCube and the Xbox also that it had to deal with as well. So even though the Dreamcast was a great system, it was destroyed. Be careful about what you read in journals. Be careful what you read about in these journalistic publications, especially if they're not really gaming. But even the ones that are gaming, even the ones that are hardcore gaming like IGN, Kotaku, Polygon, Game Informer, I can almost guarantee you're going to find an article detailing and discussing, even if it's not official, why Nintendo should exit the consoles race. Have you heard that talk from the Xbox? Have you heard that talk from PlayStation? PlayStation's doing pretty good, but realistically, have you heard that talk from Xbox? Let's look at the Xbox One. Sales 25 to 30 million. Not bad. Not bad. Do you know what's above them? The Nintendo DS and 3DS. Yep. But Nintendo should exit the console race, right? Right? But then where's the Microsoft should exit the console race? Oh, it's not there because they got all them third-party developers, right? So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's why it matters. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please leave me a big thumbs up, like and share. Really appreciate it. That's one free way you can support me. Speaking of the Nintendo Switch giveaways are always going to be done every 15th of each month, so follow me over on Twitter if you want to hear about who wins the Nintendo Switch. And if you want to be entered into the contest, just comment down below and be subscribed. Liking and sharing my videos are a bonus, but yeah, that's all it takes. I select one random winner each month, and I give out one of these bad boys, because that's how much I appreciate you, subscribers and comment section, because you made me who I am. So I think it's only right to give back to you. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to this episode of Why It Matters. Honestly, why it's important is because you really have to have a mind of your own, and you have to make up your own decisions. You have to make up your own mind, ladies and gentlemen. You can't be a sheep forever, and you can't sit here and say, well, because Protomario said, well, because Forbes said, well, because IGN said. Think about it yourself. If you like a game, and you like a video game console, congratulations. You're enjoying video games the way you want to, without having to have someone validate your opinions on an article piece. You guys have yourselves a great day. I've been your host, Protomario. I'm signing out. As always, good gaming. God bless. And thanks for watching. I'm off to enjoy a video game console that shouldn't exist, according to a couple years ago articles.